Hello everyone, this side Manisha Mishra, Assistant Professor in Mathematics, Applied Science Department at St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management, Gurgaon. This college is affiliated to Maharaja's University, Rohtak. And today our topic is time series. And after index number, your next topic is time series. So today I will discuss uses of time series, methods of finding the time series solutions, and importance, uses. 4 to 5 topic I will discuss here, and total this is your 16 marks question and have already come in your exam. So prepare your question that write about the time series, importance, utilities, and methods to solve the examples related to time series, right? So time series, in time series we can define it as a series of data points. That means you are listed your data in time order, right? In time series we can say that if you have a data and you are listed your data in time order, so that is called your time series, right? And most commonly your time series is a sequence taken at a successive equally spaced point in time. Means your if you are taking if you have a sequence, so the difference of each sequence will be equal, right? And examples I will discuss here. And uses, you can show your time series, means plot your time series by the lining, right? And lining chart in chart. And the uses, we used time series in statistics, signal processing, and mathematical finance, weather forecasting is very important. There is a method here, weather forecasting method. I will discuss each methods in details. Earthquake prediction, control engineering, communication engineering. Means time series use is very important, and it used in several areas. So we will discuss here. And let's see our time series definition. So what is the meaning of time series? There is a 16 marks question always come in your exam that write the meaning of time series and types of time series and importance, limitations whatsoever. So let's see it. Meaning, so data in time sequence are referred to as a time series. As I told you that if you are listing your data in a time series, so that is called your time series. Accordingly, a time series demonstrates change in some variable with through time. Generally, the time gap is assumed to be equidistant in a time series. As I told you that time gap means that if you have a sequence, so you will arrange your sequence as an equidistance, means interval will be equal there, right? Time series can be of two types. First one, discrete time series, and the second one, continuous time series. So discrete time series where variables are noted at different points of time, so it is called discrete time series. And example is Delhi's maximum temperature every day at 2 p.m, right? So this is a discrete time series now, right? And second one is continuous time series, right? So in continuous time series where variables are measured continuously over time, example rainfall in the last 24 hours, right? Means uh, in continuous rainfall in last 24 hours means it is continuously happening. So this is your continuous time series examples and discrete time series example. So Now, next, component of a time series. There is a line missing here. Component of the time series. So, component in time series. Write the first point is write the time values in 4 columns using each column for each quarter. Right? What is the meaning of this line? That means if you have a time value, so you will divide that value into 4 columns, and if you dividing that value in 4 columns, that means half, each part will be quarter of that value, right? Each column for each quarter. Quarter means 1/4 part. Second point, total each column and then find the average of each column. From these column averages, calculate a grand average. Means total each column and then find the average of each column. So you have a total column and find the average of each column. So find each average of the each of the column, means first column find average, second column find average. So you will calculate averages of the each column. Now third point, divide each column average by the grand average. So here second point, you will also find your grand average. Grand means total, first column plus second column plus third column plus fourth column, right? Now third is divide each column average by the grand average. So first, if you suppose your first column average is 10 and your grand average is 50, so you will divide 10 by the 50, means each column average divided by the grand average, and then multiply it by 100. So you are basically you are finding the average, means in average in percentage. This gives adjusted seasonal indices for each quarter, right? Means for the each quarter you will find your average, and this average is called seasonal adjusted seasonal indices. Now, sum of these adjusted quarterly seasonal indices will always be 400. So basically you are dividing your time values in quarterly, so your total are here 400, means 4 into 100 times, right? And some of these adjusted quarter seasonal indices will always be 400, means first column plus second column plus third column plus fourth column. So total sum will be 400, right? Now, second, ratio to moving average method. Second method is these are the components of the time series. First one is this one. There are 3 points here, and second one, ratio to moving average method. So this is a very popular method for isolating seasonal variations, right? In this method, moving averages are calculated to remove trend from the time series. So in this method, moving averages are calculated to remove trend from the time series. So first point is arrange the given values in column quarter wise, means we are also here arrange our values in quarterly. Divide the each quarterly time series data by the corresponding moving average value and then multiply by 100, right? Again, each quarterly time series data by corresponding moving average value. So we will find our average value and we will divide our time series data by the average value and multiply by 100. So we will do these things in each column, right? These values are known as ratio to moving averages. Third point, arrange these ratio to moving averages in 4 columns. Each columns represent 1 quarter. That means our process will be repeating again and again, right? Fourth point, total each column, find the column average and find the sum of the column average. And if this sum is 400, then column average is treated as seasonal index. Otherwise, an adjustment constant K is calculated, right? So we will repeat our process again and again, and we will see that each column, total each column, and then find column average, and this column average Sum is 400, then column average is treated as seasonal index. Otherwise, we will calculate a new constant, adjustment constant k here, and that adjustment constant k is equal to 400 upon sum of the column averages, right? So the value of k is calculated up to 5 decimal digit. 4 multiply the column, 4 point is 4 multiply the column averages by k is known as the seasonal index, right? Now, what is seasonal variations? So, seasonal variations, in seasonal variations, time intervals should be measured in weeks, month, or quarters. Seasonal variation means meaning is coming from the word seasonal variation, right? So we can take our variation, we can measure our variation in weeks, means 1 week variation, second week, third week, fourth week. Otherwise, quarterly we can measure our variation interval, or we can measure it by monthly, right? Because if data are expressed annually, there is no seasonal variation. Because in after, if we are taking our variation and taking our data, expressed our data annually, that means 1 year season will be changed, second year season will be changed. So we will take our data either weekly, either monthly, or monthly, or and quarterly, sorry, right? So we cannot take our express our data annually. Right now, according to the season, the seasonal variation may be negative or positive, right? And the total seasonal variation is 0 for the year, because total negative seasonal fluctuations equal to the total positive seasonal fluctuations, right? Means our data can be positive, our seasonal variation can be negative, means कम भी हो सकता है, बढ़ भी सकता है, and एवरेज दोनों का देखेंगे तो वो क्या होगा, 0 होगा, right? Seasonal variations are measured in relative terms, mostly in percentage, called seasonal index. And a separate seasonal index is calculated for each time period, say for each month and quarter, right? Multiplicative model is applied in the calculation of seasonal indices. Here, seasonal variations are measured in relative terms, mostly in percentage, right? Because if we are multiplying by 100, so we will get our percentage value here, and it is called seasonal index. A separate seasonal index is calculated for each time period, right? Means if you are taking your monthly, so you will calculate it monthly. If you are taking quarterly, so you will calculate quarterly, right? So for each time period, you will calculate your seasonal index. Multiplicative model is applied in the calculation of seasonal indices. Removal of seasonal effect is known as deseasonalization of time series. Now, deseasonalized value is equal to y upon s, and y is equal to tsci upon s is equal to tci. So what are the meaning of these symptoms terms? And t is equal to secular trend or trend value, s is equal to seasonal value, c is equal to cyclic value, I is equal to irregular variation, right? So, in order to obtain annual seasonal data, seasonal index numbers are multiplied by the number of time periods in a year, right? Now, measures of seasonal variation. So, there are four methods here to measure the seasonal variation. The following methods are used to calculate seasonal indices. First method is methods of simple averages. Second method, ratio to moving average method, ratio to trend method, and fourth one, link relative method. So these are the four method, and these are the important method because can be 8 marks question in your exam. So asked in final semester exam. So just prepared all these methods, and 2 marks question also can be come. Write methods of simple average, write ratio to write a short note on ratio to moving average method, right? So just prepare. First method of simple averages. So this is very simple method to find out seasonal variations. In this method, seasonal indices are found by using the following step. So there is an example here. You will better understand by this example. Find out seasonal indices from the following data by using the ratio moving uh, average method. So what is our ratio moving average method? So I told you in our previous ratio to moving average method that suppose years, this is your base years, means base year value is P naught P1. So you will apply the method of ratio to average method, means um, first year value, second quarter, we are dividing is quarters. So first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter, right? And okay, there is a page is missing here. No, don't worry, I have already told you ratio to moving averages. Let me check 1 minute. So we can solve this question. I will provide you a solution in our next video because I have a solution, and I am just discussing verbally here. So for the first quarter, you will uh, find your quarterly average here. So quarterly average means find the total of the first quarter, right? So total of the first quarter will be you can 19 plus 19 plus 18 plus 18 plus 21, right? So you will get the summation of your first quarter, and you will divide it by the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you will divide by the 5, right? So that will be your first quarterly average. Now for the second quarterly average, you will add all these values and divide it by 5. Same for the third, you will add all these values and divide it by 5. And also fourth quarter, you will add all these values and divide it by 5. Now, so all you will calculate from here. After that, you will calculate your grand average. So your grand average will be average of the first quarter plus average of the second quarter plus average of the third quarter plus average of the fourth quarter, and it will be divided by 4 because you are dividing your data into quarterly, right? After that, that value will be your grand average. Then you will calculate your seasonal index. So seasonal index, what will be your seasonal index? Your seasonal index will be quarterly average divided by grand average and multiply by 100, right? So you will calculate your first quarter. You have already calculated your first quarterly average. So first quarterly average divided by grand average into 100. For the second, we will do same. For the third and for the fourth, you will do same. All the repeat your process for the till fourth quarterly, right? So that will be your seasonal indices, right? Now third point, ratio to trend method. So first point is obtain linear trend value by least square method. I told you least square method in regression, and regression find the line y on x, find the line x on y, right? Regression coefficient and these. So that method called least square method. Obtain the ratios to trend by y upon yt into 100 is equal to SCI. These ratios are fair form uh, for trend, right? Now, obtain average by mean or medium of SCI values. Obtain the seasonal index as obtained in the last step of ratio to moving average method. So these are the fourth step of ratio to trend method, right? Now, next is link relative method. So it is based on link relatives that represent current value in terms of the ratio to the preceding value. It is based on link relative, right, that represent current value, and obtained in link relative LR for each quarter by LR is equal to current quarter's value upon previous quarter's value into 100. So we will not get any LR for the first quarter. So that means we need to know current quarter's value and previous quarter's value and multiply by 100. Second, obtain the total LR for each quarter and then find the average of these totals. Now, third one, obtain chain relatives from LR. Assume CR of the first quarter of the first year as 100. 4 points. CR is equal to average of LR of the current period into CR of the preceding period divided by 100. So these are the methods of the link relative method. The CR of the first quarter be obtained as LR of the first quarter into CR of the first quarter divided by 100. So these are the methods of finding the link relative method. These are the four method here to measure the seasonal variation, right? And in our next video I will share mm, uses of time series, limitations, and 2 or 3 more examples related to your 8 marks question, right? And and the topic is related, question is related to the topic, um, forecasting method and trend values method, right? So we will see these topics in our next video, right? Thank you.